What if I told you the secrets to building wealth weren't hidden in some complex modern algorithm, but in simple rules discovered 6,000 years ago? We're about to dig into the timeless wisdom that literally made ancient Babylon the richest city in the world. And the crazy part? These exact same principles can absolutely transform your finances today.
I love this quote because it's the core promise of the whole book. It's saying that wealth isn't about luck or some get-rich-quick scheme. Nope, it's about understanding a few simple laws, almost like the law of gravity. Once you learn the rules, money becomes plentiful. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now.
So here's the central puzzle, right? Picture this. Babylon is just overflowing with gold. It's the center of commerce, just swimming in riches. And yet, most of the people walking its streets had, as the book says, lean purses. Sound familiar at all? It's a problem that is just as real today as it was thousands of years ago.
So the story goes that the good king Sargon, he noticed this problem. He looked around and saw this massive wealth all concentrated in the hands of just a few people, while everybody else was struggling. So he decided he had to do something. He needed to teach everyone how to get their own piece of the pie. And to do that, he sought out the one man who knew how.
He calls up Arcad, a guy who started with absolutely nothing and became the richest man in the entire city. The king's request was simple. Hey, teach your secrets to the people. And Arcad agreed, but he said his knowledge wasn't really a secret at all. It was just a series of simple principles he called the 7 cures for a lean purse.
All right, now we're getting to the first and honestly the most critical cure of them all. This is the absolute foundation for everything else. If you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, please make it this.
So Arcad gathers a class of 100 citizens. He looks around and sees that they all work different jobs, they all earn different amounts of money, but every single one of them had an empty purse. What was the one simple fix, he asked, that could change everything for all of them?
And the answer, it wasn't some complicated spreadsheet or investment strategy. It was a simple fraction. 1/10. That's it. This single idea was the tiny seed from which Arcad's entire fortune had grown.
And here it is. Arcad explained that most of us, we pay everyone else first, right? We pay the landlord, the grocery store, the phone company, and at the end of the month, there's nothing left for ourselves. He argued you have to flip that completely. Before you pay a single bill, you must pay yourself at least 1/10 of everything you make. This becomes the seed money, the capital that you're going to build your entire fortune on.
So, okay, once you've started paying yourself first, what do you do with that little pile of gold that's starting to grow? Well, Arcad's next 3 cures give you a complete system for managing it. It's a really simple 3-step process. You control your spending, you make your savings grow, and then you guard it from loss.
And you gotta do it in that order. First, you have to master living on the 90% you've got left. That's control. Then, you put that 10% you've saved to work for you. That's growth. And finally, you learn how to protect your growing nest egg from dumb risks, and that's guard. Let's take a quick look at each one.
Cure number 2 makes us face a really fascinating and kind of annoying human truth. Our so-called necessary expenses always seem to expand to eat up our entire income unless we actively fight back. This is all about knowing the difference between what you need and what you just want. Budgeting isn't about punishment, it's about playing defense for your future self against today's impulse buys. Now, here Arcad uses this incredible metaphor for investing. He says every single coin you save is a golden slave that can work for you 24/7. And the money that it earns, well, those are its children. And guess what? They work for you too. This is how you build an army of income, a river of gold flowing into your purse whether you're working, sleeping, or on vacation.
But of course, investing can be super risky if you don't know what you're doing. And that brings us to cure number 4, guarding your treasure. Arcad learned this one the hard way. He gave his entire first year's savings to a brickmaker who promised to buy rare jewels, but the guy got scammed and came back with worthless pieces of glass.
Arcad's lesson is just timeless. I mean, the world is full of modern-day brickmakers, right? They're everywhere, pushing get-rich-quick schemes, giving you unsolicited crypto advice. The principle is so simple. Only take financial advice from people who are actual experts in that field. Don't gamble your hard-earned savings on a slick story.
Okay, so the final 3 cures, they shift our focus from just getting started to building something that lasts, a real financial legacy for you and your family. These are the long-term, strategic moves.
So these last cures are about building your fortress. First, own your own home.
It builds equity and eventually slashes your cost of living. Next, you gotta secure your future. Plan for the days you can no longer work and protect your family. But the most powerful cure, maybe of them all, is the last one. Constantly invest in yourself. Sharpen your skills, learn more, become better at what you do, because your ability to earn is the engine that powers this entire machine.
Now, to prove these principles weren't just for rich guys like Arcad, the book tells the story of a man named Dabasir. This guy was deep in debt, fled the city, became a literal slave, and eventually made his way back with absolutely nothing, except a new determination to completely fix his life.
Look at how perfectly Dabasir applies the cures. His plan is so simple. He pays himself first, that's 1/10. He learns to live on 7/10, and he uses the last 2/10 to attack his debts month after month. The result? In just 1 year, he is completely debt-free, he has savings in his purse, and maybe most importantly, he's regained his self-respect.
So what Dabasir's story really proves is that these aren't some secret formulas for the elite. They're just simple, powerful laws of money, and they're accessible to absolutely anyone who has the determination to follow them. This was Dabasir's big aha moment. He had this realization when he was at his absolute lowest point. He didn't have a map. He didn't have a bag of gold. All he had was the raw determination to change his life. And you know what? With just that, he found a way.
And that brings us all the way back to that very first cure, and the most important question of all. Seriously, think about it. When you get paid, after you pay your bills, your taxes, and buy all your stuff, what part of your earnings is truly, permanently yours to keep? The richest man in Babylon says the answer should always be at least 1/10.